Welcome everybody to what I was thinking was supposed to be another edition of Wine Wednesday Spring Edition, maybe, but
Yes.
feeling so springy today. I think when we set up these wines, we were it was probably a little warmer out.
It was a little sunnier last week, but the good news is that the pack that we came up with this week is the ABC pack, the Anything But Chardonnay, because a lot of people still come in and have some anger towards Chardonnay.
Right,
so I wanted to give some alternatives that still
or
have
fuel
some
the
weight.
anger? Is that what you're doing? You're just fueling these people's anger to Chardonnay?
No, not at all. We're bringing them in. We're telling them it's still safe. There's other alternatives. So some richer whites. We'll call them winter whites for the snow.
Okay.
Early spring.
Sure. Well, I'm always happy when we get to introduce people to something new, and Loire Valley seems to be a pretty big trend lately. Reason for that is pretty obvious. There's lots of great value in the Loire right now. So as some of the more traditional areas in Burgundy, or in France, like Burgundy and Bordeaux, prices seem to be creeping up. We're always finding pretty good deals in the Loire. So we're continuing that theme this week with, I think, something that was pretty interesting. One of our kind of most interesting finds, I think, in the last 6 months or so.
Well, I mean, it's based off of my favorite Spice Girl, Mel B.
There you go. I barely
had
get
to
that
throw it
joke.
in there.
Barely get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad. But you did
All
mention
open
Burgundy,
wine.
and
That's all I
the
get at.
Burgundians kicked Melby Milan de Bourgogne out a long time ago, and it's found a wonderful home a little bit closer to it's within the lower Loire, closer to the coast. So we're in the region of Muscadet, and when people hear that word, sometimes they think that we are saying something else than what we're actually saying. The region itself is Muscadet.
Yeah, Muscadet has this weird thing where everyone thinks it's sweet. It's got the root word of muscat's in there, so they think it's got to be sweet, but couldn't be anything further from the truth.
Couldn't be
We're
further. One
we're
of
not
the
just a
driest
little
white
dry.
wines we've
We're
got.
all the way dry. We're as dry as it gets. So if you're scared of sweetness, you should be running to Muscadet, not away from it.
Absolutely. The cool thing with Muscadet, some people associate Milan de Bourgogne as kind of a more neutral variety, in that it doesn't have a lot of character. But the good thing about that is that it takes on the character of the soil in the region that it's growing, and really the winemaking techniques. So we've got really mineral soils, and they've got this freshness and saline quality to them. And then one of the classic things, and one of the things that Salmon is doing, is extended lees aging and stirring and getting that creaminess and texture too.
Yeah, there's regions like Muscadet and the Nantais. We're right on the sort of far west coast of France, and we're really at the northern limit of where you can grow and ripen grape varieties. So we're in this cool climate with this wind whipping off the Atlantic Ocean. The cuisine is typically coming out of the ocean, so it's a lot of shellfish. The wines have really grown up to be served alongside the cuisine there. So everything in this area is going to be lean, crisp, and dry because they're eating oysters and they're popping those big, beautiful platters of seafood that you see on TV and wish you were there eating.
Sign me up.
Yeah, been there, done that,
All
and it's
in.
wonderful. I'd go back anytime. But I think Milan de Bourgogne as a grape variety is an interesting one because it really does pick up more or less the quality and the character of the area it's grown in. So you can't do a lot of this grape variety with the grape variety unless you're in an area that really showcases those real chalky mineral kind of qualities to it, and then it's up to the skill of the winemaker. So you need a lot of things working for you. You need some older vines, you need a great piece of land, you need to farm it really, really carefully. So it's all organic farming. Everything's done with a lot of care and attention by hand, and then in the winery, you gotta take your time. You can't rush this stuff. So the Muscadet typically is going to be on lees for a year and a half, which is a long time to wait to pop these into the bottle. So these guys, I think, do one of the best jobs. They're a little different style than some of the other. I mean, let's face it, we're crazy about Muscadet. We love it.
Really
It's
are.
it's the poor man's Chablis, and we love Chablis and
Poor
we're
and I
poor.
love
So
Chablis.
we're really
It checks
we're really
out.
the best ambassadors for this region possible. I know that we've had a lot of chances to drink these before we got to feature them, so I've seen a lot of the bottles disappear into staff, which is always
Always a good sign.
yeah, it's always a sign that the wine's not going to last long. And my impression of these really was that the wines had a lot more aromatic profile to them, and a lot of interest, and not quite the really skinny kind of almost punishing style Muscadet can have when it's young.
Yeah, they're softer and rounder, and they've just got like this really kind of creamy finesse to them. The difference between the two, so he does do the same style of winemaking for both of the wines, but then the one that's going to be in the pack here, so you can sample it in the pack as well if you're ordering online, is all from younger vines, and then the one that you popped open for us today is older vines and a little more like hillier slope.
You know I'm going to go for the high-end one. I've actually drunk so many of these already. I'm just, it was fun to try the Bros because as much as I love the terroir, and I think it's a great example of Muscadet, it's a really fresh, pretty, again, slightly softer example. This is going to appeal, I think, to people who like Chablis, White Burgundy. Like, there's a little more complexity in that. And even if you're a Sancerre fan, this would be right up your alley.
We actually had a staff member pour this blind for some friends of theirs, and they all were pegging it as Burgundy and Chardonnay. So
there you go. We're not just making up stories here. So absolutely, maybe not the best wines for cold weather, but these are going to be spectacular.
It's not going to last long. It's spring in Calgary. The sun is going to be out in a minute. You're going to want one of those. So you can come in and taste them in store with us, or you can hop online, pick up the pack, and stock up on some whites for spring. And of course, the chillier spring that we start with. We haven't talked about Rosés Bianco in a while. I love this wine. It's super unique, really original.
Surprised we still have it.
There's not much. I think we're down to our last case or two, so whatever goes out in the packs is kind of it. Some Insolia, some Sicilian wine. We've got that new Godeo from Spain.
That's great, yeah.
Brice Marine, personal favorite. And then the Amalia Macabeo as well. So great alternatives to trying a kind of richer and not as heavy acid style of wine. Safe for people who are scared of Chardonnay.
Spring's coming, and summer's right behind it. So there you go. You want to be ready. Don't get caught without any white wine going. And if you need some reds this week,
Later On is back. Everyone's favorite.
Back. A new vintage.
New vintage,
All
21.
right.
Got to try this. It's a little bit brighter, fresher, juicier style. It's fantastic. You're gonna love it. So come in and try this too.
Probably just ask Robin to pop a bottle open. She'll be she's easily talked into that kind of thing. So.
Easily.
All right. Anything else?
That's about it. Handful of tickets left for Rosé Soirée, so get in there quick because May is just around the corner. Lots of events happening up at the Uni District, so check those out as well. And yeah, come in. Kevin's here. He's got Burgundy coming this weekend. He's going to be opening a bunch of bottles as well, I'm sure.
If you're a fan of Burgundy, Friday is the day you want to be here. We'll be opening some of the new 2021 Henri Magna from about noon till whenever we lock the door. So pop in for that. That's always a good time. All right. Thank you.